Hello and welcome to Deck Builders Las Vegas, where we talk all things outdoor living. Today we're going to walk through some of the most common deck building mistakes we see and how you can avoid them. If you've ever thought about building a deck yourself or hiring the lowest bidder to save a little money, this episode is for you. A deck might look simple from the outside, some posts, some beams, some boards, but there's a lot going on under the surface. When key steps are skipped or rushed, the problems might not show up right away, but they almost always show up later. Let's start at the bottom. Footings and posts. One big mistake is pouring footings that are too small or too shallow. Those footings are what carry the weight of the entire structure. If they're undersized or not properly set, the deck can settle unevenly, causing slopes, cracks, or movement in the frame. In some cases, posts are just set directly in soil or in small pads that aren't designed to handle long-term load. That's asking for trouble. Next up is the connection to the house. For decks attached to a home, the ledger board is a critical piece. It needs to be fastened with proper structural hardware, sealed and flashed to keep water out. A common mistake is using simple nails or lag screws without thinking about long-term load or water intrusion. Over time, moisture gets behind the ledger, rots the wall, and weakens that connection. That's one of the most dangerous failure points a deck can have, and it's completely avoidable when done right. Joist spacing is another area we see issues. If joists are set too far apart, the deck surface can feel bouncy or spongy. This is especially important with composite decking like TimberTech, which has very specific guidelines for support spacing. Follow those guidelines and the boards feel solid underfoot. Ignore them, and you might see sagging or flexing even if everything looked fine on day one. Fasteners matter too. Using interior screws, nails, or non-rated hardware outside is a recipe for rust and corrosion. As those fasteners weaken, boards come loose, railings wobble, and the structure loses strength. Exterior rated screws, joist hangers, and connectors are designed to handle weather and chemical treatments in lumber. They cost a bit more but make a huge difference in how long the deck stays safe. Water management is another big area of mistakes. Decks need proper gaps between boards, correct slope, and in many cases, flashing and drainage plans. If water is allowed to pool on the surface or collect around posts and beams, it will eventually find its way into cracks and fastener holes. Over time, that leads to rot in wood members and staining or damage where the deck meets the home. Then there are design mistakes. We've seen decks that end up too small for real use. For example, a nice little deck that can barely fit a table and chairs once everything is in place. We've seen stairs that land in awkward spots, or railings placed in ways that block a good view instead of framing it. These issues come from not thinking through how the deck will actually be used day to day. At Tuff Deck Builders Las Vegas, we help homeowners avoid these pitfalls by planning carefully and building to code. We look at loads, footing size, framing layout, hardware, and material choice before we ever talk about stain colors. We also ask about future plans. Maybe you don't want a pergola or outdoor kitchen now, but if there's even a chance you might later, we can design the structure to handle that upgrade. If you're planning a new deck or considering replacing an old one, and you want it done right the first time, you can reach us at 702-766-9561 or visit toughdeckbuilderslasvegas.com. We'll help you avoid the most common mistakes and build something that looks good and lasts. Thanks for listening to Deck Builders Las Vegas. Join us next time as we keep sharing practical tips you can use to make smarter decisions about your outdoor spaces.